Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the Motley Man James here, and today I'm going to give you some updates on what's going on in my real estate adventures. Alright, so I know I talked to you in the previous videos, I think it was about 2 videos ago, about my tenant being late on their payment and whether I should evict them or I should wait it out. Well, I decided to wait it out until the end of last month, so February, and I gotta say, guys, I don't have to go through the eviction process. The tenant caught up on every payment that she was late on, plus the late payments, right? And I'm gonna go through the breakdown on what she is paying me, what my monthly cost is, and that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Well, tell you about. So I got this little nifty little thing. It's the Microsoft Service Pro. And I wanted to get this so I can be able to, basically, I have my pen right here. You probably already seen it with me moving my hands around, but I'm able to write on it. That way you can see what's going on in my mind in terms of numbers. That way I don't have to edit it, and it looks a little bit more interesting in terms of video. But before I go into the numbers, I want to talk to you about how dumb it kind of was for me to go with my gut on letting this tenant pay late. I should have started the eviction process the very first month that she was late, and it's something that I've learned from, and that's what all of this is. It's a very intensive learning process. This was my very first ever tenant. So being my first ever tenant, I was very, let's just call it, relaxed with when she was going to pay me. And I know this has also been a problem with Graham Stephan. He also did the same thing with his very first tenant. He was letting them pay late, and then it just kept getting later and later, and eventually stopped paying. And then whenever he went to evict them, it just became a huge mess. That was something I wasn't wanting to do. I wasn't wanting to make it a huge mess, having to evict, spending who knows what kind of amounts of money in terms of evicting this person. But there was a silver lining, and the tenant was able to catch up on the payments, and I think we actually have a healthier relationship now between tenant and landlord because we went through this process. No, this is not going to be something that happens in the future. If they are late again over a month, I will start that eviction process with the state laws that it's required. But let's move right along and talk about the numbers on this property. And it is a rental property. It's buy and hold, kind of. It's a short-term buy and hold strategy where you keep the property for 2 to 5 years and then you sell it to the tenant. It's known as rent to own or lease option. And I'm gonna pop up on the screen the numbers that I'm gonna be talking to you about and so on. So let's throw it up. So I bought the property for $90,000. Alright, and whenever I was doing my comps with my real estate agent, it turns out that this property, let's just put this in parentheses, the property is worth $105,000. So right there I got my close to about 15% equity position in this property, which is what is one of my criteria. It has to meet my 10 to 15% equity position. Let's talk about how much I was able, I had to come out of pocket for this property first. So what I had to come out of pocket is $15,000, and that was a 15% down payment, plus it was closing costs, right? Just can't really get by those. And I was able to get it kind of lower because the seller was able to pay, I think I negotiated them, I was wanting $3,500 worth of closing costs, and they only agreed to $2,500 closing costs. So that's how the $15,000 came into play. My mortgage now, is $75,000. That's what my mortgage is. And I have a 30-year fixed rate loan on it, and I believe my interest rate is, I think it's a 4.125%. So that comes out to roughly $630 a month in PITI. And what does that stand for? That stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. With all that combined, it came out to $630 a month. Now, my tenants, they are paying me $1,200. Whoa, take that back. They're paying me $1,200 every single month. And this is kind of what I wanted to dive deep into, right? So being a rent-to-own property, I don't have to pay for repairs. The tenant pays for these repairs because how the contracts are written out, they are in 2 years, 2 to 3 years, that's how long my leases are. The tenant plans to buy the property based off of a fair market appraisal at the time of purchase. So, and also inside, and some people could be like, but James, that also seems kind of very risky. If the market just kind of took a dip and then all of a sudden you are underwater now and the property is only worth $60,000, well, you owe $70,000 and you sell it for $60,000, you're $15,000 in the hole still. Well, according to the contracts, you can only purchase the property at a minimum or above, right? I can only sell this property to you at a minimum of, I believe for this property it was, I think it was $102,000. That's my bare minimum I will allow my tenants to purchase this property for. And I gave a little bit of wiggle room, the $3,000, just to make the tenant feel a little bit more secure and give them a little bit more incentive to do this deal, because now they have an additional $3,000 worth of equity if it goes below that. Hey guys, if this video is providing some sort of value for you, can you please just drop a like and a subscribe down below? It really does help out the channel. I want to reach as many people as I can so I can help them achieve their financial freedom through real estate investing. Sometimes we talk about monthly dividends and we talk about personal finance. In later videos I'm going to be talking about credit cards. But if you're taking some sort of value, please just drop that like and the subscribe down below. Also, if you have a question that you want to ask me, just drop a question down below in the comments. I'll answer them. I answer every single question that I get. But let's get back to the video, guys. No repairs. However, if they want to fix something, add a fence, add paint, all I ask is that they let me know in advance that that's what they are doing. But that's about it. Everything else kind of falls on them. So as you can already seeing, a lot of my expenses are kind of off, kind of cut off, right? So really all it is this $1,200 a month. Let's throw this back up on the screen. This $1,200 a month minus the $630 a month that are coming out for my mortgage, insurance, taxes, insurance, blah, blah, blah. And this comes out to be about $570 in pure cash flow every single month. And that's a home run in my books for my very first rental property. Granted, it wasn't that much of a home run because the tenant was late on their payments, but they're all caught up now. It's kind of like, you kind of forgive and forget about it, and then if it happens again, then obviously I'm gonna probably evict them. So as of right now, this is how the deal is kind of structured and what my ROI is and etc. So I'm getting $570, I think. This was for 4 months. So 0, 8, 2. Right now I have made $2,280 in pure cash flow. And what I didn't mention before is that since it's a rent-to-own, they plan on purchasing the property, they have to put a non-refundable down payment on the property. And what this tenant gave me was $3,000 of down payment. So right now it is $5,280 right now that is sitting in my bank account. And what is that ROI? So $5,280 divided by $15,000. So as it sits right now, without taking in appreciation, without taking in my principal paid on, which I will get into in just 1 second, just hold on. So pure cash flow, cash on cash return is 35%. And if I wanted to add for the principal pay down, so for those 4 months, every single month, the principal on my property is getting paid down $88 every single month. So 88 times 4, 2, 3, $350 right now. So what do we do to find out the cash on cash plus principal reduction or principal pay down on the property, what that percentage looks like? All you do is you add this $352 on top of this over here. Let's just color that in real quick. And what you get is 5,000, whatever that is, right? $5,632. That is sitting in my bank account right now. And to get it with the principal reduction, the ROI with the principal reduction, you just again divide it by whatever I put inside the property, and you get 37.5% ROI in just 4 months. 4 months, guys. I have been able to shut up my stepdad because he said I'd only be getting 2 to 4% ROI annually. This isn't within 4 months, guys. But that's just a little something I was wanting to show you, keep you updated on what's going on. I consider you guys part of my family. I want to answer any questions that you have, and I have got answers on how do you calculate ROI. Can you please show me a breakdown on how do I calculate this? How do I calculate that? What am I doing with my properties as of right now, today, March 3rd, 2020? 2020 is a big year for me, guys. It's already March, and I've got this property that is producing me 37.5% ROI. And this is just one property. I have one more property. I'm not gonna go into it because this video is already kind of running pretty long, so I'm gonna cut it off right here. If you guys haven't already, please just drop a like or comment, subscribe down below. It really does help out the channel. But until next time, guys, I'll check you guys later. See ya.